So what you're gonna a co-host, and now she'll be able to share from her computer.
Okay. All right. So now I can. Okay. All right. I can't hear you. Okay, so I'll just stay on the side. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Sherry O'Gorman. We're starting the roundtable for July 24, 2024. So let's get started. So I hope everyone's having a good summer. Got a couple of us here in person, and then we've got some of us on Zoom. If you have any tech questions, put it into chat. And we're going to do the attendance moment. So go ahead and pass that around. And now we're going to scroll down and we're going to do the opening ceremony. So we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, the Scout Oath, and the Scout Law. So if you'll please stand for that. Wait a minute. Why is it not? Okay.
It's very plain. It's just quiet.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh.
The duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help keep myself physically strong, truthfully, and morally straight. The Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Two. Okay. Audience can be seated. Okay. And if I could ask everyone to put their name and their unit and their rank in the chat, that would help us out tremendously. Now. All right. So we're going to do recap and some hot topics. We've got the National Combined Troop Pilot that's coming up. So if you've signed up for it, you want to be in contact with Tyler or Darren. And that's at the national level. For the council level, we've got camp information. We've got fall recruitment frenzy seminar, and that's possibly at Camp Thunderbird. And that looks like July 26th and August 2nd. And then for the district, we've got Fred's Closet. Let me see if I can get those back. Tyler, do you know how you put that screen back up? Sorry.
Hey, friends. It would be divided by 2.
Yeah.
It would be divided by 4.
I wanted to bring this Zoom back
Hi,
up.
Darren. Hi, Dana.
I don't know if it's someone talking in the room or somebody that's online that has muted, but
There we go.
sounds like they're doing math or something.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
Yeah.
Just the volume.
Okay. So now we've got a couple different things going on. Okay. So we've got Fred's Closet. Thank
Do you want the
Tyler.
agenda up there?
Yeah. If you
Yeah, of course. Here you go. 2.
appeared on me.
Yeah, one moment, please. Hey, everybody, just some technical difficulties, no biggie. Oh, don't need that up anymore. Yep.
Yeah, when you
so
do videos,
next
you
time,
have to
just
tell
open
it
up
to
a
play
new
the
tab
sound.
Okay.
instead of, yeah. Boop, boop, boop. Share. Hopefully it's sharing. Not sure exactly what's going on. If you want to keep. Sorry, everybody. We're just trying to share this agenda with you. But Sherry, if you want to keep going, we can begin while I try to.
It's muted there.
Okay. Do we have audio now?
Don't make that.
Yes,
You guys hear us now?
I can hear
Okay.
you.
All right. So we'll,
Now do the Fritz spot.
okay. So we're going to back up. And we're going to go over Fred's Closet. So Fred's Closet is closed during the summer camp, but it's going to start opening up in fall. We're going to need some volunteers when you outgrow your scouting uniform or your children outgrow their uniforms. Please donate, help our scouts in need. And also you can email Mark or myself for that. And then Mark, do you want to talk about Covery?
And so the district and the council has just opened up the Olympic District Cubbery that's gonna happen in Elma, Washington at the Grace Harbor Fair. It's gonna be October 18th through the 20th. And we're focusing on the international spirit and the jamboree on the air, but we're also going to have target acquisition and fishing. So the registration is live. We're going to put that in the chat if you come join us at the Covery.
Thanks, Mark. Okay, so the Olympic District recruitment booth, if you are interested, please email either Mark or myself. Okay. All right, and one thing that I would like to see is that if the units, if you guys can email us topics that you would like to see at these roundtables, it really helps us with getting information out that you guys need and that you want. So if you can do that, you can email either Mark or myself, or anyone really, but as long as we get the information, we can start covering things for everybody. Okay, so the next couple of topics that we're going to be going through will be, let's see, we've got another roundtable schedule that's coming up, so be sure and check those for next month. We've got Camp Thunderbird, we've got the Trailblazer Scouts Summer Camp, and that's July 31st through August 4th. And then August 17th, we've got the Clay Classic. And we've got on September 20th, we've got the golf tournament. And then we've got some information on training. We've got Baloo, Wilderness Training, College of Commissioner Science, and the IOLS, which is in October. And that pretty much covers up our recap that we've done. For our hot topics that are coming up, really what we would like everybody to focus on is continual unit activity and planning. I know it's summertime, we get tired, it's hot, but we still need to be doing activities, we still need to be planning, we need to get the scouts the program that they deserve. Another thing that has come up in conversation in the past is talking about political events and scouting as a hot topic. So be sure and visit the political events and scouting link, and make sure that, I think it's just, they can stay for flags and then they have to leave. Is that right, Mark?
Yes, the national statement, the policy that they put out is you can do a parade as honor guard, you can do it at an event, but once the flag honor guard is over, you must leave and you cannot wear your uniform, be present in your uniform.
Thanks, Mark. Okay. And another thing that is near and dear to my heart is the Say Yes to Reading contest. So if you guys want to get into that, please click on the links that are on the agenda that we have. And also we've got the National Fall Membership Drive. So that's coming up. So now we're going to talk about some safety moments. It's summertime. I know pretty much everybody here knows this. They've got fire, water, and heat injuries that can go on. So in terms of fire, respect local and state ordinances for fire safety. Make sure you follow the appropriate information for burning and for bans that go on. For water, make sure you respect local and state ordinances as well for water safety. Go ahead and visit the sites for that. Water is important on multiple levels. We don't want to see any injuries when you're out swimming, but also to stay hydrated, because that is another heat-related casualty that we can have in the summertime. And that leads us to heat. So make sure you hydrate and visit Aaron on Scouting. He's got some great tips for heat. Okay, next, we're going to talk about the membership moment. So unit assessments with your unit commissioners. So we definitely need some more volunteers. So if you're in here and you're excited to help the scouts, make sure you visit the district. We've got the Facebook page and we've got an email. John, do you want them to just email you about that, or you want to talk about the unit commissioners for a second?
Just a second.
Thanks, John.
Giant knot. I will keep it short. So I'm going to pretend like I'm short. But anyway, so if you guys are interested in being a unit commissioner, please feel free to shoot me an email. My email should be up on the council website now, I think. If not, you can always reach out to me on Facebook. That works too. If you want to know what the job of being a commissioner entails, take a look at our roundtable from Mark, help me out. April? April. Look for our roundtable from April. You can find it on the Pacific Harbors Council YouTube page. And you'll learn a lot about what it takes to be a commissioner and what we look for and what we expect of you.
Thanks, John. Okay, and that leads to our next thing. So we're going to talk about dynamic recruiting and peer recruiting. So really, the people that grow our scouting program are our scouts. They have the best testimonials. They have their friends. So we really want our scouts to be engaged in the community and with their peers and try to get them involved in scouting. Okay, and that now leads us to our next topic, which I believe Nicole is going to be working on the fundraising. Nicole, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Excellent. Well, hello, everybody. So fundraising. This is not a new topic for any of us because we've got to do it every year, but it is something that is a prime focus, especially this time of year with the popcorn gearing up. So I plan to kind of just talk some general fundraising with you guys, give a bunch of information about how the council's popcorn fundraiser goes, and then we can kind of talk about any specific fundraisers that anybody here has done that they've had success with and would like to share with the group. So so we'll start off with every fundraiser that a unit is going to do is it's going to involve certain pitfalls and complications, but it also has lots of good opportunities for many things. So as long as the leaders of the unit evaluate the fundraiser and find one that fits your unit, and then, you know, navigate your pitfalls cheerfully in front of kids, because as long as they're having fun with their fundraising, then it'll be an easy thing for everybody to do. So there are many different types of fundraisers for us all to do, but they kind of break down into 3 different areas. You've got your service, sales, or events. The popcorn that the council puts on, and then along with the adventure cards that they're going to be providing in the spring, these would fall under the sales things, because you have a product that you are selling to the public, and then your unit or your scouts keeps a certain percentage of that. Service fundraisers are where your scouts would go and provide a service for others. A common one that I would see in troop level scouts would be like flag services, or I've heard of units providing a service for event venues. Before an event, you go in, you set up tables and chairs, and then afterwards you go and you clean it up. But there's also shall we say, a trend going of fundraising for kindness fundraisers. It's you check it out. It's a company called Raise Craze, and they promote fundraising through acts of kindness. Kind of a different idea, and goes very along with our scouting goals. But then another way to do fundraising is through holding an event. And these can vary from a car wash in a parking lot to a spaghetti feed for your charting organization. They could also be it's a one-day event where you go and you would promote your unit and try to raise some funds with it. All of these events, or all of these types of sales, other than the council provided sales being popcorn and the adventure cards, require units to get approval to do the fundraiser. So there is a form called a unit money earning statement. And Sherry here has a link in her agenda for this form. So whatever fundraiser that your unit is doing, once you have investigated it, talked it over with your committee, and decided, this is the one we're going to go, and on your troop levels, once you, in older scouting units, obviously get your scout's opinion on it. And once you guys have decided that this is the fundraiser you want to do, you go out to this form and you fill it out. And there's several questions in here, but it's fairly straightforward. But a couple things to make note of this, that when you're doing this form, that you really should fill it out at least 2 weeks before your event. This gives the district committee time to approve your fundraiser. So make sure that you fill out that form. And when you're doing that, take a look at page 2. Page 2 has got a bunch of information about it, and some notes that I would like to point out that were kind of new to me the first time I went and filled one of these forms out is uniforms. So most fundraisers, you need an approval to wear your uniform at it. Other than that, you would wear like your activity shirt. So take a look at that, because you're going to have to decide if you want to have uniforms for your fundraiser. Another thing to take note of, and it's bolded on that second page in case we forget, we can't actually solicit funds for your unit. So this means you can't directly ask, will you give a donation to my unit? You can ask for support for specific activities for scouts. So we have to be very careful when going out and doing your fundraiser of how you're speaking to the public when trying to get money from them. Once you've completed the form, it's got to be signed off by your key 3, your COR, your unit leader, and your committee chair. And then from there, it'll get sent to the district to be approved there. So again, 2 weeks before you have your event, preferably, to allow everybody enough time to get that approved and signed off. Do we have any questions on this form before we go forward?
Oh, hey, Nicole.
Hi, John.
So if I have a recurring fundraiser, do I have to fill out this form every single time?
That is a very good question that I don't actually know the answer to. Is there anybody present here that knows the answer to that question?
Sorry, I was looking for my unmute. This is Darren. What type of recurring, can you give me an example real quick, just so I can kind of put in context?
Like, for example, if I'm doing a Christmas tree collection every year, do I need to do a new form every year in December?
Yeah, you do, because we don't know, because BSA sometimes changes their policies and stuff. We would prefer that you do one every year. It's not a blanket coverage forevermore type form. And really it's just there so we can, it goes up to the district and the council. We just want to make sure that you're not going to get yourself in trouble. How much you make is really irrelevant. I know they ask for it on the form, what you're going to use it for, all that stuff. It's just to make sure that we're not doing something that's going to give the BSA a black eye, I guess you could say, or just to make sure that everything's above board. And then you have that coverage if somebody says, well, you're not supposed to be doing this. Well, yes, we've already looked it over and you're good to go. So the quick answer is yes, we would like you to do one if it's now if you're gonna do it for like 4 weekends in a row, then one would work. But if you're gonna do it annually, one time annually, you should submit every year.
Perfect.
Thank you, Darren, for that answer.
No.
Do we have any other questions? No. Okay. So now that we know kind of the different types of fundraisers that are available, but no matter which ones you do, other than the council provided ones, we have to fill out the unit money earning statement. So the council provided fundraisers They make things a little bit easier for units because the council is doing a lot of the administrative and back work that the units would have to do on their own if you were out picking your own fundraiser. So for for example, the popcorn, the units do not have to pay for their popcorn until the end of the popcorn season. So it's safe for financially for the units in that regard. You sign up, you order your popcorn, you receive it, you sell it, and then at the end of the season, you make due on any kind of balance due of whether cash versus credit. So whereas a lot of fundraisers that you might pick as a unit on your own out there would require you to purchase whatever product you're selling up front. Not that that's a bad deal. It's just a consideration to put forth to your committee when deciding on your fundraiser. So when you're picking these fundraisers, you want to kind of ensure that you're getting a good profit margin, shall we say, from it, like good percentage of return on it for the kids. Out there, when I did some research for this, I found, they say that 20 to 50%, you want to make sure that your kids or your unit is at least receiving something within that range, which is great for our popcorn seller for council. Units receive between 32 and 35% of the sales. Then the council receives another 35 or more percent. So that particular fundraiser is fantastic because it's 70% rate of return for the scouting versus some of these other ones that may only be 20 to 50%. But as your unit, it's still a good deal according to the other types of fundraisers out there when selling product, at least. So the other council fundraiser, which I don't know very much information about this one, but it's going to be in the spring, are the camp adventure cards. They sold some of those this last spring. So we'll get more information about that one going forward. But the popcorn one that is happening in this next month, I've got lots of information for you guys there. Any unit that has not signed up to sell popcorn yet is able to. It is not too late. The orders go out at the end of the month. So you still have time to order popcorn for your show and sell, which is selling popcorn at a storefront where you have your product in hand. If your unit doesn't want to do that, you still have option of what they call a take order. And that's where you would have a form that you would get people to order popcorn from. Then you would get that popcorn later on in the season and you would deliver it to those people after the fact. So the council popcorn sale, so it's starting on August 9th. That's when the units can first pick up their popcorn. So every weekend from there until October 20th is open for units to be out selling their popcorn at stores, wagon sales. Online is open year round, however, so that is already going for units. And so the way this works for anybody that hasn't done this yet, the unit picks up their popcorn from council. And so this is typically coordinated by someone called the popcorn colonel. So this is the leader of the unit that takes on the responsibility of organizing this particular fundraiser for their unit. So they pick up the popcorn and help get the kids registered with the Trails End system to sell it, and then set up store reservations. Trails End, the company that produces our popcorn, provides many store locations for us, but you're allowed to go out and get your own if you've got, different locations that you think would be great for your scouts to sell at. And then you would navigate the popcorn season from there on, assisting your kids with getting them their product and the table and cash box, square readers, all this kind of stuff to help the sale go off. seamlessly from there. And so until October 20th is when the council's popcorn fundraiser goes. And then at that point, that's when the amount due towards council, if there would be, would take place. And where I say if there would be, because as you're selling the popcorn throughout the season, anything sold on credit card goes towards whatever your unit would owe for the popcorn that you have received and you are selling. And then your unit keeps any of the cash that is received. And then at the end of the season, on October 25th, if so let's say more cash was received than credit card at that point, then you would pay the amount due there. So that's why I say this one is a safer fundraiser than some of the others, because you have an opportunity to sell all of your popcorn without having to put upfront that money ahead of time. So now, for the people who have sold popcorn before, sorry, that was all old information for you, but I do have some new information, hopefully, that you may or may not know that has kind of changed the way it's going this year, that I'm pretty excited about personally. Council is providing.
Okay, then you could get on.
You have a question?
Yes, I had a question about going to other stores and choosing places of our own to sell popcorn. Do we have to fill out one of those fundraising forms? Do we have to fill out a fundraising form for every store that we go to?
No, you do not. That fundraising form would be for any fundraiser that your unit did other than the council provided one. So popcorn is a council run fundraiser. So that form is not required for it at all.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so this year, council is providing every unit that signs up for the show and sell order. So that's where you are putting in your order for popcorn by the end of the month, and you are receiving product in hand on August 9th. And so you're ready to sell this at your stores. So what we're going to get are these, or what you will receive if you haven't already, are some cash boxes for donations. And if you recall, I was saying you can't solicit donations straight for your unit, but the way that the donations work for the popcorn fundraiser is any donation that the customers want to give you, as we call it, heroes and helpers, because it in essence goes and gets turned into popcorn that is given to heroes and helpers. So military, first responders, and many others. We've had several scouts that have decided on some good organizations and wanted to give some popcorn, and it is very rewarding to see them deliver popcorn at the end of the season. So these cash boxes are little lock boxes, so it's a much safer way to collect those cash donations than what we've done in the past, being like a little jar on the table. So it's much safer for our kids, and it ensures that we don't lose any of those little $1 and $2 donations as they go by the table. Another new feature this year that I'm very excited about is an option that they are providing for parents and leaders to submit their sales to the unit with their credit card. So to explain this better, so when you're at the storefront and you are selling your popcorn, and you're going to have your credit card sales as you go through your shift, but then there's lots of cash sales as well. And in the past, these cash sales, all of that cash had to be turned over to the popcorn colonel or treasurer of your unit, however your unit was handling that transaction. And then it would be, taken to the bank from there. Now, to reduce the cash moving around within the unit, and they are allowing the parent at the end of the shift to essentially reconcile that cash in the application with their credit card. So you swipe your credit card. Let's say you collected $200 cash during the shift. So you'd swipe your credit card, so $200 would go to the unit for their sales, and the parent would keep the cash. That way, then, I personally love this as a kernel, because at the end of the day, if you had a good selling store shift day, they can take a lot of cash in. And I would, feel the need to come by the store several times throughout the day and pick up the cash, because it's very uncomfortable to have too much cash in a cash box for the scouts. Feels very unsafe that way. But this way, the cash doesn't pile up in the cash box, and the unit's paid off, and there's going to be less, money due at the end of season. Easier for everybody. So those are the two changes to the season this year that I'm personally very excited about. That should make everything a little smoother. Now, the rewards and incentives. So anytime you do a fundraiser, you're gonna have, why are we doing the fundraiser? Well, we're doing it to earn money. Okay, money for what? And so you have to have that idea in mind. Are you guys, is your unit earning money for the individual kids to fund their scouting years and their journeys to camp? Or is it a particular, like it's the pack fundraiser, we'll say, and you're earning money for the scouting year, for just like your monthly pack meetings for the kids, for their belt loops and all their awards like that? Is it more of a unit type fundraiser for something like that, or is it individual? And if it's more of a unit fundraiser, sometimes the kids lose sight of why they're fundraising. So they need, incentives. And if you as a unit are going out and picking out your own fundraiser, that's something to keep in mind. What do the kids get out of it personally? If you're doing the council fundraiser, then it has some built-in incentives for you. We still encourage units to kind of come up with your own, but the ones that are built in already are kind of 2 points. You've got the incentives provided by Trails End, which is the popcorn manufacturer, and they provide their incentive with Amazon gift cards. And those are pretty cool. My kid the first year kind of struggled with it. He didn't really get the immediate, he didn't understand what he was getting out of it. But by year 2, he was like, oh, yeah, I know what an Amazon gift card means. I'm excited to sell more popcorn. So that one works by points. As the kids sell their popcorn, they earn points, and these points are earned either 1 to 1.25 points per dollar sold. And so they earn these points, and then it racks up their Amazon gift card that they get at the end of season. So that's what Trails End provides, as an incentive to keep the kids going. Council is providing incentives as well. And so the council incentives for this year's popcorn sale are on a couple different fronts. They are providing the regular top sellers club. So if a scout sells $2,500 in sales, then they get to go to the top seller party, and they get a couple tickets to a Rainier's game. But in addition to that, this year council has added some additional levels beyond that. So that top sellers club, with their 2 tickets to the Rainier's game, they get a baseball jersey as well. But for the child that sells $5,000, they also get a baseball. The kid that sells $7,500 also gets a special hat. So it keeps going up from there to encourage kids that are, want to keep going. And so that's the individual scout incentives. And so that's where units and parents can use these items to motivate the individual scout to keep going. And, or if that scout's earning, what a lot of people call a scout account, where they're earning their own money to go to camp or to go to a national jamboree or something of that nature. It's an individual incentive for that person. But you can do unit incentives as well. So these could be like if your unit beats its goal, you're going to have some kind of fun party or an event. So for example, my unit this year, we're trying to do a party at an arcade because we're kind of having a Mario theme with our popcorn. So we're doing an arcade party as a goal. But council is providing some unit incentives this year as well. And so these ones are based upon selling more than you did last year. So if, and they're tiered like the individual ones. So if the unit sells $2,500, $2,500 more than last year, then they get to choose a prize package worth about $200. And it would be like a Pinewood Derby kit or a camping package. It's got a camp stove and chef kit and cast iron cookware, or a gift card for the Scout Shop or Amazon. And so that would be for the unit. And then, if the unit increases their sales by 5,000, so even more, their package increases. It's the same 3 options of package: Pinewood, camping, or gift card. It just, the dollar amount goes up to a $400 value and then a $600. So these incentives make it a lot easier for colonels or your fundraising team, whoever that is, to help encourage the kids and the parents to keep going. Because the kids learn a lot when they go through scouting. Here's my personal bit. I would have my kid fundraise even if we didn't get anything for it. It's the incentives make it easy for him, but what the kids learn and get out of it, the experiences, is worth everything. Knowing that they have, worked hard to get where they are makes them feel so much better about where it is. But all of the skills that they learn as they're going through these different avenues of selling is there's no other way to do it, in my opinion. So fundraising is a must, and there's so many different ways to go about doing it. Find the one that's right for your unit. I think that's about it for what I had to share with you guys. I'd like to open it up now for anybody to share some fun ideas or things that they have done for fundraisers in the past that may have been out of the box, or just anything they'd like to share with everybody. And if you share, let us know, did it go well? Did it not go well? What was your takeaway from it? So we can all learn from what you guys have done.
One fundraiser that I've seen done in the past that worked really well is units, troops that like collect Christmas trees. It's very area specific, like if you're in a very rural area, it's not something that's going to work probably for a lot of people because those areas, people just burn their Christmas trees, right? But if you're in a more urban area with more burning restrictions and people are less inclined to burn their Christmas trees, the Christmas tree collection works really well because it's really simple. You just have you can do it one of 2 ways. Either you go door to door and pick them up, or you can have a centralized collection location where you say, hey, we got a dumpster here, bring your Christmas trees to us. And you take them for like $20 or whatever. And there's not a lot of overhead, And it's a pretty good profit margin if you can do it right.
With Christmas trees, I've also seen units do like the tree wrapping and shaking at the tree farms during the holiday season. I don't know how well they do, but every year I go get my Christmas tree, I see them out there, so it must be a decent fundraiser for those units.
Right. I figured they wouldn't be doing it if it didn't make them money.
Exactly.
Well,
Does
I
anybody
know,
else?
I know 222 usually did the one for the tree farm out at Hunter's. And that agreement has been in place for many, many, many years. So you would have to find somebody new in the area. Or maybe some of the other rural areas, out by down where you are, John, or something. But I know Hunters they've been in with that troop for a long time. So you would have to reestablish. And then tree pickups, you could talk to the city and see if they have programs where scouts could be involved. And that's how we do our trees.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a couple dozen tree farms in our district, if not more. I mean, I know of at least like 6 tree farms in South Thurston County alone, just like in like a 5-mile radius. I mean, so there's lots of tree farms out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my point was getting a hold of one and establish something that your troop sustains for quite, a few years.
No, I gotcha.
That's how they've been doing it for so long, is because they come out, they do the shaking, they take to people's cars and do all that stuff, and it's building that up with a farm specific, maybe connected to your troop.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So another fundraiser that I've seen several or I've seen a few scout units do, along with other lots of youth organizations, are with different restaurants, and selecting a day where it's either like Applebee's, where you sell tickets and they make one thing like an Applebee's breakfast, and it's pancakes, eggs, sausage, I believe, and juice, and it's $10. You buy your ticket, you get your breakfast, and the scouts are there, and it's that's an event. We talk about it as a types of fundraisers. That would be a 1-day event. But then I've also seen ones where restaurants will do a certain percentage of sales. Here in town, Mod Pizza has done that a few times, or Panda Express. I swear I've seen some others at some other locations that are escaping me at the moment. But it'll be on a certain day for a certain set of hours. Anybody that comes in and buys food and mentions the youth organization, so in this instance, the Scout unit, so a percentage of that would go to that unit. Anybody here done one of these type of fundraisers? Was that successful for your unit, and would you recommend it? Would you do it again?
My troop did Kona Ice many ways back, but it is very weather dependent. So the Kona Ice can arrange a spot to go to, but it was minimal only because it's very weather dependent. So you got to book it on the books really early and figure out where your, post position is going to be. But that is the only thing that about certain ones, like if you do Limeberry or those, that you can be up and down really strictly based on when the weather is.
Gotcha. I went to one at Applebee's once, and the organization was getting their fundraiser was selling the meal tickets, but while they were doing that, they also were doing a raffle of baskets, little prize baskets, selling tickets to those. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing a fundraiser. Can you pair this with something else? Add to it. I mean, you're already there putting in the time. If you can just add a little something more that gets you additional funds, it might be worth it. So it looks like we're 10 minutes to 8. I would love to hear if anybody else has more ideas to share with the group, but if not, I could pass this off to closing. Okay, looks like we don't have any other ideas to share.
Hi, Nicole, can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Let me see. She can hear me? Okay,
I can
I
hear
just
you.
can't hear. Okay, that's fine. All right. Ah, okay. And then I'm trying to get the agenda back, but it's not. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Thanks, Nicole. That was awesome. Thank you, everyone, for a very productive conversation. That went really well. So a couple of things I wanted to share with you for closing. There's a video that I found, and it's why I'm a scouting leader. And I wanted to play that for you all. And it's brief.
No sound coming through on our end.
Stand by.
I'm Jen, Assistant Scoutmaster at Troop 299, Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. As a mom of boys, my job was primarily to be the driver to scouts. My husband was a leader, he was involved, but I was really the mom that just sat in the back of the room. And after doing that for a while, my Scoutmaster approached me and invited me to be a volunteer. And I felt completely unqualified to do something like that, and he invited me again. I realized I didn't really have an outdoorsy background. So after I got some training, I went to my first summer camp. And I was exposed to all these outdoor opportunities that I'd never been exposed to before. And it unlocked this desire to do all these fun things that I'd never done before. And since then, I went from being the mom sitting in the back, waiting for the scout meeting to be over, to this person who loves adventure. Had it not been for that Scoutmaster inviting me, including me, I would not be doing all the things that I love to do outdoors today. I'm extremely thankful for scouting, for igniting a passion in me for the outdoors and just exposing me to things that I didn't even know I love to do, that I do all the time now. So for that, I'm really thankful.
I'm Tommy Lee Hayes Brown. I'm Troop Committee Chair with Troop 63. I got into scouting through my son. My son saw another scout selling popcorn, so we went over to support that scout, and the scout was telling my son all about the fun things that you can do with scouting, the bow and arrows and the canoeing and the fishing. And he was in 4th grade at the time and was really excited about it and really wanted to do it and was relentless about it for 2 years. So 6th grade, we joined Boy Scouts. And at that time, I have 4 sons, so we all just did it together. And through scouting and my son needing a den leader, I joined the organization and eventually got so involved and loved every aspect of it that it took me out of my comfort zone. And what I gained from it was really unexpected, is that, some lifelong friends. And because I was around so many great kids and so many great parents, I was like, I really want to be a part of this organization. What you put into scouting, you get out of scouting. And I got a treasure trove of stuff.
I've been in scouting for over 14 years. I love the program. I believe in the program. Some of the stuff that we notice living here in Austin, Texas is when kids come into scouting, a lot of times they're a little bit on the nervous side, don't really know what to expect. And it's a deal where we start letting them know the advantages they do have in scouting. Some of the things that scouts are learning, and when they come in, the role models aren't quite there that a lot of us have. That's where scouting kicks in. We are role models. We show them that there's other alternatives for them. Not only does it affect the scout himself, but it also helps affect their family life. Because their parents sometimes join in and they start learning how to be better leaders.
I stopped it because I'm trying to get back to Zoom. Oh, okay. So I just wanted to say thank you all for coming and joining us for this roundtable. And for my first kind of commissioner minute, I'm kind of nervous about it, but I envision a scoutmaster and commissioner minute by a fireside so we can have a chat and an open dialogue with everybody. And we can grow within the communities that we serve at our unit level, at the district level, and also at the council level and national level. Mark, did you have anything you want to share? Sorry. I didn't mean to put you on. I should have.
All right, for my commissioner minute, I want to take the time to think about the time of year it is and summer camp and all the memories and the fun that the scouts are having at summer camp. We want to make sure we continue that fun throughout the year and have memories like that all year long, and keep setting the example and having positive influence on the scouts and working on the scout oath and law, but also the scout mission, the scout mission, scouting mission.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. John? Okay. All right. All right. I'll do my thing. All right. So I do want to ask if you have topics that you want covered in roundtables to either email, text, or find me on Facebook or Mark so we can add those in for everyone. Next month's topic is going to be something that I'm really interested to learn more about since I'm relatively new to scouting. It'll be on the Order of the Arrow. What is it? The elections and the process, and it will be at Camp Thunderbird or anywhere you have a Zoom. And it's going to be a cheerful discussion. So I'm going to turn it over to John for the ending, and thank you all.
All right, good evening, everyone. I wanted to thank all of you for taking some time out of your busy schedule to spend an hour with us tonight to talk about fundraising. I appreciate everything you guys are all doing for scouting in your communities, and I appreciate that you felt that this was a good use of your time. So, I know this is a little bit lightly attended because everybody's off at summer camp and everybody's enjoying our beautiful weather outside, but I appreciate all of you guys being here, and I appreciate everything you're doing for scouting. And with that, we're gonna wrap it up and we're gonna get you guys out of here 1 minute early. That's it. Good night, everybody.
Night, everyone. Have a great night.
Good night.
Scouts.
Oops.
Oh,